Hey, what's up, everybody? It's KBR Sports, the best sports talk show, your 24-hour day. I'm your host, Brendan Abbott, with my two co-hosts, Kyler Lewis to my right, Rashad Pennell to my left. We're broadcasting to you on WODU Studios, the best in college radio. How y'all doing this morning?
I'm starving.
I feel you. Rashad?
Just trying to make it out here. Times is hard, school is hard, sleep is hard to come by, but they get to the sports.
School ain't hard. It's just terrible.
School is terrible, but you got to think about it, it's a privilege.
Mm-hmm.
Education is a privilege. It's something they don't take for granted because there's many that wish they were in the same position to get the same education. Lord knows, Lord knows. But we're about to get into it, y'all. Starting with we're gonna have the topics for today. Going to be the Pro Bowl, and essentially, is there any point even having the Pro Bowl anymore? Because yeah, we'll say that for the Pro Bowl because the Pro Bowl is just the Pro Bowl exactly. And then we're getting to the retirement rumors of Calvin Johnson, and is it really time for Megatron to let hang it up? It's something that you wouldn't have thought would have been said about 2 or 3 years ago. But then going on from that, we'll talk about the Cavs went over the Spurs this past weekend and how big that win was for the Cavaliers. And does that win kind of distinguish them as a team now that can compete with the best of the West? We'll get into that also. And then excuse me. Excuse me. And then former Rams coach Mike Martz had comments about Terrell Owens being one of the finalists for the Hall of Fame. And we seems T.O. is normally in the center of a lot of controversy for a lot of people. And but what he's accomplished as a receiver in the NFL is undoubtedly great. So we'll also get into that. But starting off with the Pro Bowl, man, this game it's essentially the NFL's All-Star game. That's exactly what it is. It's NFL's
Mm-hmm.
All-Star game. And when you look at how it plays out, it's relatively it's a game that nobody wants to get hurt in. You have the best players from all around the league, but there are over 100 players that had to be replaced in this game because either there were some in the Super Bowl, there were some that couldn't come because of personal reasons, there were some that couldn't come because of injuries. There were so many players that had to be replaced for this game, and so then you look at it and you're like, what is the Pro Bowl really? You really need to have the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl's lost viewers and ratings for 4 straight years. Um, it the just watching the game, you see a lot of things they do. I mean, they try to make it entertaining for the fans because now they changed the system from the how they had it a few years ago, where it was the AFC versus the NFC, where now it's they have the Pro Bowl draft, where you draft the best players from either whatever coach is coaching, whichever team gets the chance to draft those players, and they're trying to do things to mix it to spice it up so people get enticed enough to watch it, but the loss of viewers shows that it's not enticing enough. I mean, the final score was 49-27. Russell Wilson was the Pro Bowl MVP, along with his teammate Michael Bennett was the defensive MVP because he got the one sack in the game and got batted a pass down. Russell Wilson threw for 3 touchdowns. He was 8 of 12 for 164 yards. Um, y'all answer the question for me: is the Pro Bowl useless, or should they change something about it in order to make it to increase ratings for it again? Rashad, let's start with you. What do you think?
I mean, the Pro Bowl is not worthless. I feel like for people who say the Pro Bowl is worthless, they can say the same thing for any All Star game because just like other than hockey, every other All Star game, they just saying make sure they don't get injured, but want to play for the fans. That's how these people are. They're saying they're a lot of upcoming players who want who wants to like making the Pro Bowls means something to them. It means like you're the best of the best. Now, yeah, this year we had a lot of injuries, of course, so a lot of people got replaced. That people who wouldn't have been in the Pro Bowl was actually there. But I mean, that's not the case every year. And I mean, it's still a game for the fans to see. You see them have fun. Get to see them have their trip to go to Hawaii. Some of them probably never even been to Hawaii. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that, they get to go there, they get to play, they get to add extra money to their accounts if they win or lose. Regardless, you get money, but more as you win. So
Well, actually, the replacements, because technically, if the replacements will only get money if they won, because making the Pro Bowl, they don't. There's a stipulation in your contract: if you make the Pro Bowl, you get a bonus. But because the replacements weren't initially chosen to make the Pro Bowl, they don't get that. They don't get that bonus. So the only way they make the extra money is if they win. But yeah, continue. I just want
Okay, but I mean, there's still the other people that who did make it that still played. It wasn't just all replacements, but they get paid. But I understand what you guys. I still understand what you're saying. How like that makes sense that they don't get paid because they didn't technically make the Pro Bowl. But I mean, it's a lot of rules that we don't like, but it's also to protect those players who go and want to stay healthy. It's not as aggressive because people want to stay healthy, but at the same time, it's still football. I mean, I still enjoy watching the Pro Bowl. It's like seeing fantasy teams play together. It's like, how would you see if, like I said, Russell Wilson had these receivers to play with? Actually, you know what I'm saying? Or stuff like that. And you always get to see something like spectacular out of like a lot of receivers and stuff like that. So it's still something fun to watch. It's just the blocking the line and the running isn't as hard. But I say more so for the receivers and corners and the quarterbacks. I feel like it's still a decent game.
How much of the Pro Bowl did you watch?
I was actually home this time. I was out of town, so I didn't get to watch Pro Bowl at all. But every other year, I watched pretty much the whole game. I just happened to miss this one because I wasn't available to a TV.
All right, Khaled. What is your take on it?
I don't think the Pro Bowl is useless either. I do think that they should. The only thing that holds back the Pro Bowl from like getting ratings and stuff like that is it's overshined by the Super Bowl the following week. If it wasn't like directly in like before the Super Bowl, then I think it'll definitely get a whole lot of more viewers. It's like the NBA All-Star game. It's right in the middle of the season. Well, close to the end of the season, and not necessarily right before the finals.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I guess it's more hype for the NBA All-Star game versus the the Pro Bowl. But
go ahead, keep seeing.
But the Pro Bowl, I guess it's a showcase for like some people, some of those big hard fans like Russell Wilson fans or those star wide receiver fans. They want to see their wide receivers go out and play with some of the greatest players in the league.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go see a game where you can see the best of the best play against each other. So I do think that it's not useless. It's definitely it should be altered a little bit so that it can definitely gain more viewers. But it's still a great addition to the NFL history and to the NFL tradition. I mean, I didn't get to see the Pro Bowl game, but I've seen it in the past, and it's definitely been just an amazing game to watch.
49-27. To me, I mean, the Pro Bowl is just the Pro Bowl. It's. I would never say take away the Pro Bowl because the Pro Bowl is a game that recognizes the star players for what they've done throughout the season and acknowledges players for what they've done. It's just like if you try to take away the NHL All-Star game, which was the other day too. There's so many all-stars in the league. You want to recognize all of them for their stellar play and put them on the big stage where fans can recognize these guys for their play. The only thing with the Pro Bowl is the Pro Bowl is a little different from the NBA All-Star game. One, like Khalid said, which he made a good point saying, is that the Pro Bowl is a week before the Super Bowl. So those 10 Panthers players and 4 Broncos players that were selected to the Pro Bowl don't get to play. And imagine how many of the fans would love to have seen Cam Newton in the Pro Bowl. Mm-hmm. He's not going to play. Excuse me. That one being said, there's football's high collision sport, and these guys are gonna of course go half speed because they don't want. I mean, obviously you're not gonna like walk to a guy to tackle him, but you're not trying to lay the big hits on people like you are during the regular season, mm-hmm. because one injury can change how your whole offseason goes down. Your one injury can change you from having a normal getting better offseason to a rehabbing offseason. Those are big deals in the NFL. This getting that time to be, better increase your game makes the difference between throwing a completion percentage of 60 and 65. Excuse me. All those little things, contribute to how a player looks in the next season. And it's a big waste to have something like that happen in a game where you're relatively, especially if you're a replacement, you're relatively not getting paid any extra incentive unless you win. Granted, all the guys, of course, you want your name to go down in history. Like go down as a Pro Bowl MVP, this and that. But at the end of the day, you also know, man, I just want to be good for next season. That's what so many people know, that they just want to be good for next season. Whereas the NBA All-Star game, NBA isn't as high contact. I mean, the last thing I have of recent memory where somebody actually got a, significant injury in the NBA All-Star games when Kobe Bryant got his nose broken by Dwayne Wade when he had an open layup. But other than that, NBA, you don't really have those kind of things. But the difference with the NBA for me in the NFL Pro Bowl is not that all the NFL Pro Bowls are normally blowouts, but definitely the NBA All-Star game, you see the guys turn it on in the fourth quarter. That's normally the time where you really, really see the athletes, like not maybe like second half, third quarter, depending on how the game is ready, how close it already is. But you've seen games where the storylines start to play out. Like you remember that it was an All-Star game a few years ago where Kobe Bryant was guarding LeBron James on the last possession, and he blocked LeBron on the last shot. Kobe fans were eating that up for the longest time. Kobe fans were eating it up just so much just to hold something over LeBron fans. You know what I mean? And it's those little things that you see in an NBA All-Star game, whereas a Pro Bowl, you might not see it as much because even the Pro Bowl, there was a point in time they had Odell Beckham Jr. back there as a safety. They had Richard Sherman back in the back, running a play from the backfield. You see little things like that, and you're just like, well,
See, I have stuff to say to that though.
Okay.
Because it sounds kind of like you're discrediting the Pro Bowl in a sense.
Mhm.
Because I remember the time when Dwight Howard pulling up from 3-pointers. You know what I'm saying? And then I've seen plenty of Pro Bowl games where it's been like going in the fourth quarter, everybody's like, yo, we're playing hard because it's coming to winning the money.
I know,
and it's the same thing. And
that this particular Pro Bowl,
it was just this one.
I
mean, every NBA game doesn't get tight in the fourth quarter in the All-Star.
I said that.
No, you said more so. You see it more often, wasn't it? When the games are close, regardless what sport it is, it's in all All-Star games.
That's what I said. I said that most times in the NBA in the fourth quarter that the games are close, they will play harder. But if it depends on how the game has played out. That's what I said.
So why can't you say the most time for the NFL?
And I just said for the Pro Bowl, except for this specific case, it was a route midway through the third quarter.
But you're sitting here.
You're
sitting here saying stuff like Richard Sherman was in the backfield and everything, but you don't say stuff that happens in the NBA.
So if Dwight Howard takes 1-3 in a possession,
and putting Richard Sherman for one play back there running,
Richard Sherman wasn't in there for one play. That's the thing.
Dwight Howard don't just play small.
Dwight Howard's not taking a Steph Curry amount of threes in the All-Star game. Odell Beckham Jr. was lined up as a safety for a whole drive of Team Rice's. I think it was Team Urban's drive. Yeah, he was on Team Rice. He lined up as a safety for the whole drive. Steph Curry isn't playing center for a whole quarter.
A drive is not the same as a quarter, though.
No, I'm saying, but essentially Steph Curry's not going to play playing center for 5 minutes, right? He doesn't do it in the All-Star game. It's not what happens. I mean, that's my point. I mean, I'm not saying that the All-Star game, the whole game, they're taking the game seriously. That's why I said in the fourth quarter, when it gets tight, or even in the second half of the third quarter, that's when they really start, playing hard or, revving up the intensity, because that's when, it's money time. It's time like who's clutch, who's not, blah, blah, blah. And I said that for the Pro Bowl. I said for the Pro Bowl that people, even though this particular Pro Bowl was a blowout, that there have been past Pro Bowls that have been, I mean, Khaled even said it. There have been past Pro Bowls that he's watched that have been great games that have gone into the fourth quarter, and then guys started playing with a lot more intensity. But the thing is, with football, there's a lot less intense. You're going to see guys competing, but they're still not going to be trying to drive guys into the ground like they are during the regular season. Whereas NBA, you can rev up the intensity of your defense without trying to injure somebody. Football, you're running into these guys are the best of all of the whole league. So you got the best hitter back there trying to hit you. One of the best hitters. I mean, you can get hurt, and that's just a fact. That's a fact. You know what I mean? Whereas the NBA, if Kobe decides to start D'ing up LeBron tough, he's not gonna shove LeBron to the ground or something like that. Some kind of thing. Even the play where Kobe got his nose broken by Dwayne Wade, that was like a freak thing. That was late in the game. Like that. Yeah, that was late in the game when Dwayne Wade didn't want to give up a free layup, and that happened. So that's like one play I can know out of how many years in the past recent years of All-Star games. That's like the one play that stands out. So I'm not trying to discredit the Pro Bowl. I'm just saying that. Oh, you have something to say? Go ahead.
Yeah. So and then, I feel what you're saying. You're not discrediting them, but I want to also bring up when you talked about how the players from the Panthers or the Broncos aren't playing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that format didn't change until 2009, And so technically, those teams after the Super Bowl, a lot of them players still didn't play either. Like even if these teams that went to the Super Bowl before 2009, before they changed it, so it was before a week before, it was always a week after. A lot of those players didn't play as well either. More so reasons because they was like they want to stay healthy because they just won a championship team, or because they lost the Super Bowl, they don't want to play in the Pro Bowl. You had a lot of those players the same way too. So technically, you completely take them out, but at the same time, you can't even guarantee a lot of those will even play.
But see, that's the thing. Now it's a guarantee they won't play. Whereas before it was a chance. They could still play. Some guys were hurt that they lost the Super Bowl, yes, but there's a reason why ratings have gone down for 4 straight years. That doesn't just happen out of nowhere. And back,
it's not because the team from those.
No, I'm not saying because it's because of those two. I'm saying that there's the reason why ratings have gone down for 4 straight years. That hasn't happened with the NBA. There's a reason why it hasn't happened. There's a reason why it's happened in the Pro Bowl. I'm not saying that it's because Cam Newton was there, ratings would have went up. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there's something with the Pro Bowl game that people don't feel the need to watch it. If this was a Super Bowl, I'm sure that you would have made sure you were home to watch the Super Bowl. But because it was the Pro Bowl, you're like, I can miss some of it. I don't need to watch it. I mean, we had a game that we played at 8:00. I came back and I watched them the Pro Bowl. Malcolm was there ahead of me watching the Pro Bowl. You're like, I don't need to watch it. There's a reason why. If that was a Super Bowl, we would have all been there in attendance to watch the Super Bowl. Am I correct?
Probably wouldn't have went to the game.
Yeah. Super Bowl.
I gotta pay money if you don't go to the Yankees. I'm tripping.
But I'm saying, you would have came back and watched the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, I mean, no. From what I was doing, no. From what I was doing,
you would have came back and watched the Super Bowl.
I mean, I'm not gonna change my stuff up.
You gonna miss the whole Super Bowl? I mean, that you gonna miss the Super Bowl.
I don't know. I don't believe that at all. I honestly don't believe that. But
I mean, you have priorities to take care of.
I know, but I'm saying, but most times Super Bowl things are planned around the Super Bowl. You don't do things off spurt. You did what you probably ended up doing. You did off the jump. Decided to do in that moment. It wasn't a decision. It was planned. It was planned pre-planned. Okay, that's just like people plan to have Super Bowl parties.
Other than the game, other than our game, everything else leading up to when the Pro Bowl started into our game was all pre-planned.
No, I'm talking about after the Pro Bowl. I said after the Pro Bowl, me and Malcolm came back and watched it, and you did something else that you felt like you didn't need to watch the Pro Bowl. Even before the Pro Bowl, I mean, before our game, I was watching the Pro Bowl. You know what I'm saying? But something happened afterwards. You're like, I don't need to watch the Pro Bowl, and that was off spurt. You just said everything beforehand was planned. So afterwards, what you decided, I don't need to watch this game. But if that was a Super Bowl, you most likely would have been watching it.
And the thing is, you knew when the Pro Bowl was going to be, and the stuff was already pre-planned, so you wasn't even planning on watching from the beginning.
People send out Super Bowl party invitations ahead of time just to plan for the Super Bowl. That's how Maya even has sent out, tell the people about her Super Bowl thing she's having, because she wants everybody to be able to plan around it or plan for it, because that's how big the Super Bowl is. Now, if somebody telling me, and the person that tells me they're not planning or whatever around the Super Bowl is somebody that's not that into football, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I mean,
and then sometimes it's not even that, because some people don't even just watch for the game or for the love of the sport. They watch the commercials.
It's the truth. But